Hello, my name is Dale DuFay. I'm going to do the narration on this video that Mary Hall put together. It's extraordinary. Now I want you to pay attention to a couple of things. First of all, these are option buttons here. So when you see 3D, this is not in 3D. This is actually 2D. This is an option button to put it into 3D. And then you can see the compass down here. It's pointing north in this still. But this is like a 19-minute video, and I'll try to go through it the best I can because it's just remarkable what she found in Antarctica. And this is the very beginning, and I have it on pause, but you can see over 24 structures. These are obvious structures, my friend. This is not natural. This is all artificial. Now, when you can see the ice is melting. Also, this is all thanks to Google, of course. This is Google Earth, and you can see the imagery date down here in the lower left, 12410/newer. I assume this is newer. It's not 2010 because the ice is melting considerably, and the more it melts, the more it's going to show. You can even see, keep in mind this is ancient. This civilization was ancient to the ancients, but they were obviously with high technology. You could see the remnants of the ruins perfectly, even under the ice that's remaining there, but a lot of it is exposed. And you can go to other areas in Antarctica where the mountains and areas are exposed, and you can see it's clearly natural mountain range and stuff like that, and rocks. But in certain areas, now to keep in mind, this is also very difficult to capture these things, but she's excellent at finding. Now the coordinates is here. You can see on the lower right the coordinates. This particular coordinates is 76 degrees 8 foot 10 inches south. Now that's pretty far. It's in the outer edge from the South Pole, sorry, because it's 162 degrees 28 feet 39 inches east. And right now, the elevation of this camera shot is 517 feet above this. And you can see all this, clearly see right angles. And this, basically she found a metropolis, a complete city. Boy, I would have loved to have known the name of this city. But let's move along with the video here. It's quite remarkable. She drops pins in certain areas where there's obvious structures. You can go ahead and write them down and check this out for yourself because it's unmistakable. And at the end of the video, I'll show you a remarkable thing she found along the coast of Antarctica. But, just sit tight. It's remarkable. She found petroglyphs, pyramids, obelisks, everything. But look at this. This is clearly a metropolis. You can see roadways, obvious structures. Look at this. Everywhere you look, it's remarkable. This was a major metropolis. It's probably, obviously when Antarctica was in the temperate zone. Now, if you believe in the expanding Earth theory, which is obviously what's happening, the Earth is expanding. When this Earth was in Pangea, or stages beyond Pangea, these continents were bunched together. Antarctica was up in the temperate zone before it separated. The Earth expanded and it wound up in the South Pole. So that's why the civilizations thrived. Here you can see the compass turning. She's turning it. But look at that. It's obviously, there may be the temple. This is extraordinary. And you can see the streets. You can see the clear outline of ancient ruins. Look at this. You can see this one's elevated considerably. You can see the shadowing. This is obviously artificial, my friend. Mary found a metropolis in Antarctica. And that's thanks to Google Earth. Thanks to, I wanted to point out the company that's doing this for Google. It's called Maxar. You can see down here on the bottom, Maxar Technologies. And then the U.S. Geological helps too. But Maxar does most of it. And they do a lot of LiDAR work for the government. and they use their technology in this, and it's obviously picking up an ancient city. Look at this. Look at that. This just amazes me. Every time I look at this, here's another roadway here, across here. There's structures on either side with the plaza here in the middle. Unbelievable. Here's another roadway going, I mean, these span for acres. It's remarkable. Look at that. Everywhere you look, there's artificial structures and ancient foundations to ancient ruins. Again, keep in mind this when this was populated. This area was in the temperate zone of the Earth, and it thrived with human beings that had high technology and engineering skills. Look at this. This stuff survived. At one time there was miles of ice on top of all this. Now the melting ice in Antarctica is revealing all of the things down there. Look at there's a pyramid right there, for God's sakes. That's crazy. Or a ziggurat. And no doubt, that looks like a ziggurat. See that? When you start turning, that's important to turn and look at these from different angles. But because there are sharp right angles and clearly, they're clearly artificial. Clearly, without a doubt. But the question is wow, when was this, when were humans living here? Now, again, if you go with the expanding Earth theory, back when the Earth was Pangea, it was very small. It didn't have very much water at all. A lot of geologists assume that the Earth remained the same size, and it's always been this size, but clearly it wasn't, because this is evidence of it. Antarctica was, a whole continent was up in the temperate zone, up by India and things like that. Maybe I could show a model of the expanding Earth theory, and you could see Antarctica was clearly in the temperate zone. And this is proof of it. Proof that civilizations were on this continent. Here, a pin drop that there. It looks like a pyramid, but you can clearly, look at this. There's clearly a plaza and the roadway with structures on both sides. Clearly artificial. Remarkable. I mean, I can't get enough of this. This is crazy. I don't know how she found this, but believe me, it's very difficult to find these things. It takes a lot of patience, because this is just a pin drop on the whole continent. But you have to zoom in real close. Here she goes back to two dimensions. Again, this is an option button down here. This is not a reference. It's in 2D right now. But you could, even in 2D, you could see look at that. Everywhere there are structures. This was a huge metropolis. It probably had, with the surrounding communities and everything, could have been over 1 million occupants or more. Look at the New York metropolitan area, the Chicago metropolitan area. The Chicago metropolitan area alone has well over 1 million in population. And no doubt these metropolises and metropolitan areas, no doubt, had millions of people as well. Isn't that remarkable? Look at all this. Here's a structure here. Everywhere you look. And keep in mind, this is 1,000 feet up, and now she's going down to like 600 feet if you look at the lower right. And that's how zoomed in you have to go to find these. And look at this. Everywhere. Look at that. This is crazy, isn't it? And again, thanks to Maxar Technologies. They use LiDAR technology to, you see everything. It's showing in the melting ice. It's revealing everything. Look at all this. Look at that. You can see X's and checkerboards, and all this is all remnants of an ancient civilization, ruins, if you will. But a lot of it is still there. Look at that. Look at everywhere, all along here, even under the ice. Look at that. This was a huge metropolitan area. Boy, I sure would have loved to have known what they called it. I mean, it's just remarkable. Look at all this. Unbelievable. I mean, every time I look at it, this is like the third, fourth time I've looked at this now. I'm actually, obviously running through doing the narration, but even doing this, I see more than I saw before. So there's really no way to prepare to narrate something like this. It's crazy. Look at this. See, now when you zoom out, it's not that easy to see. So it's easy to just go over it. It looks natural, doesn't it? When you're see right now, We're at almost 900 feet now. She zoomed in. Look at that structure. Unbelievable. That's obviously some sort of a temple structure there. Look at that. With the adjoining buildings and structures and administration buildings, no doubt, merchandise, factories, residential, all over. Look at this. Look at this. Here. Looks like a bridge of some sort. Unbelievable. Look at that. With steps going up all the way up to this temple. Look at that. It's unbelievable. Look at the steps here going up to the. Unbelievable. Again, like I said, this is I've gone through this before. You can't prepare because it's endless. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look, even under the ice, there's definitely artificial structures, and because of the age of the ice that's melting, these have to be, well, dare I say, again, this civilization was ancient to the ancients. Think about it. So this could be, oh, look at this. This could have been like a factory or something here. Unbelievable. Look at this structure here with steps going up. Oh, this is crazy. Right now, it's in 3D. And again, this is the option button. It's not reference. Look at that. Look at that. Now she's back in 2D. Even in, no, it doesn't matter. You could clearly see structures here. Ruins. And again, because we know the ice was over these structures for, dare I say, millions of years. So obviously human beings have been on this earth for millions of years. Now see how long this structure is? Over 100 feet long. Unbelievable. And then she stretches out. This clearly artificial. There's no doubt about it. And this is a large structure. Obviously, again, 120 feet long from here to there. But of course, obviously, it goes beyond. Right there, it looks like one of those domes, like we see on the Capitol building. That's clearly a dome. These are clearly right angles, clear structures, unbelievable. I can't get enough of this. This is crazy. Look at even under the ice, you can see patterns of ancient ruins, foundations of the ancient ruins. Some of the stuff is still intact. Again, this was covered with ice in miles thick at one time until now. Now it's revealing, the melting ice is revealing that there were ancient civilizations, and because the ice, the geologists know the ice has been on Antarctica for God only knows how. I mean, our geologists have a good idea. So if let's say the ice has been miles thick on Antarctica for millions of years, or let's just say tens of thousands of years. Well, that means before the ice covered this, there was an ancient civilization there, to which, you can age it by how long the ice has been there. You know what I mean? Look at some 65.8 yards, so you multiply that times 3. That's how long this plaza is, let's just say. Here, this is a data line here. But look at this over here. Look at this over, it's just everywhere you look. The measurements are important and everything, but you can't help but look all around. Look at up here on the upper left. Clearly artificial. There's no denying it. So if it's artificial, that means it's not something that, it's not a mountain range, or it's not the ice doing it or anything. It's clearly artificial. So what does that mean? What do we there's no denying that this is artificial. So what does that mean? Honestly, it means there was something there, something built that, and I'm convinced that it was human beings. Human beings see how difficult this is to find. Right now she's 2 miles up. Look at the lower right, it's 2 miles up. You can't see nothing there. It takes a great eye to catch that. Right now it's just a black sliver. Right now we're 3 miles up. You can't see, you can see the receding glacier there. and the ice breaking up, but you don't see anything. Don't make nothing of it. And you have to zoom in real close. And if you get lucky, a lot of this it will be natural features. But just look at you zoom in. You can look at that everywhere. I saw another dome over there. Look at this. Again, wait till the end. The end of the video is the biggest surprise. She found geoglyphs. Unbelievable. And complete with a pyramid and a obelisk. Unbelievable. So stay tuned. I know this is exciting too. I can't get enough of this. Look at this. Again, everywhere you look. And it's 600, almost 700 feet up, 659 feet up. And you look at that. Under the ice, you can see the clear, no doubt that was the residential area. And the main plaza area and city and metropolitan area is all showing up as the ice is completely off some of it. Look at this. Look at that. Again, she's zoomed in at 555 feet. This is the coordinates. It's pretty far from 90 degrees south, but like 24 degrees. But still, it's unbelievable. This was in the temperate zone at one time, this whole continent. But it worked its way as the Earth expanded, which is continually doing. It's expanding as we speak. Look at how long this is, this whole plaza. She brings it all. Look at this. This is crazy. Over, let's just say 800 feet long. This whole plaza. Remarkable. Look at all this around here. Look at this. Unbelievable. This is probably the residential areas. Here I see a checkerboard pattern, but that's probably shadows. But it's clearly got right angles, long, look at this. Sometimes you could see even what they call quantum roofs, where they're full arched. You can see that here. There's another place where you could clearly see it. Look at this perfect square, perfect right angles, perfect walls. I mean, these humans at that time were remarkable. They were extreme engineers, and they built everything, practical. They weren't, everything was built for form and function back then. This is, believe me, this is before Adam and Eve. They called it the pre-Adamites, and they lived obviously a long time ago. There's proof of it right here, my friend. Everywhere, look at that. Everywhere you look at this thing, a plaza. It's a complete building. Everywhere, and this is artificial. This is a data crack there, but again, hats off to Maxar Technologies. Again, if you pay attention down here, you can see where the compass is. You can see the coordinates and how many feet up. See, it's difficult to discover these things. So it takes a lot of patience, and Mary is excellent at it. And I love doing the audio for her videos because it's so exciting. Because my videos are all about the Mandela Effect, but her videos, Mandela Effect, there's no proof of anything. So it's when you're talking, it's all pure speculation and conjecture. But with this, it's obvious. I love doing Mary's videos because what she discovers is obvious. It's proof. Now here you can actually have proof positive, because Maxar Technologies is the best in the world, and they're not searching for these things. They're just doing their job, and it's revealing what the melting ice is revealing, which is evidently in some areas you can find entire metropolises. This was, again, I would love to, awesome to know the name of this city. It would have been awesome to know. But again, I love doing Mary's work because I've seen her. She spends hours every day, sometimes 20 hours a day. And once in a while she gets real lucky all the time. Again, look how hard that it would be to find. If you just, right now it's, maybe a mile out right now, 3,273 feet. You can't see that stuff. You have to, really takes a lot of patience. Now, not every one of these are not going to show artificial structures. You have to look and look and look and look. But some of them are going to, again, if you went around and saw natural features, you can compare it. And it's not like this is some pixelation doing all this or nothing. Because if you look elsewhere, you can see natural stones. But here again, in another area, you check the coordinates down here. Here's another metropolis, or part of the other city. You can see the wall here. You can see the street. You can see the buildings on either side of the grand roadway or whatever they call it. Look at this, amazing. A whole cluster of structures here, 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 here. These probably could have been manufacturing buildings. Again, you could see almost like silos, if you will. This is almost, some of the areas she found in this video actually look like modern day facilities, or that are in Antarctica. Almost every country has a camp in Antarctica, and some of these actually look more elaborate than the modern camps that you can find. And you can find them in Antarctica. You look them up and you can see their camp with all their stuff that they need. But this this is not modern. This is ancient. These are, again, because we know that the ice has been on this continent for millions of years, which would date these structures at, dare I say again, a million of years. Let's just say 50,000 years. All right. This used to be in the temperate zone, but I'm thinking it's longer than that. But that's how far back human beings go. Here's the proof. I always had a suspicion that human beings went way far back, way further than they say. I'm sorry about, the Bible making it seem like it's only 6,000 years, but again, the Bible was meant on purpose, I believe, to be confusing and being taken any way you can. Because who knows how long a day is? It could have been, a day could be hundreds of thousands of years old. We just assume it's 1,000 years, because there's one scripture that says a day for the Lord is 1,000 years to us. So we assume, But anyway, the Bible's meant that way. Anyway, this is contradicting that belief, because it's clearly here. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So I look at this everywhere. I gotta check to see if this video's still going. Yeah, that's the end of it. Okay, now I want to go over to and do a slideshow of what she found here. I mean, it's just amazing. I can't believe it. Okay, these are all still shots, pretty much. They're gonna look at this, unbelievable. Here's what look. This is a geoglyph here. I don't know if you see it. She drew it out at the end. This is amazing find. This is around the coast of Antarctica. Here's the pyramid. Here's this shiny obelisk. I don't know what else to call it. Look at this. It's just incredible. Straight up artificial. You could check the coordinates. Here's another still shot of just amazing. Well, we're going to get back to that geoglyph too. I mean, I couldn't believe it. We believe it's either a bear or an elephant. Right here, we think this might be an elephant, or it could be a bear, but no doubt an elephant. But see the pyramid right here? Clearly. And here's the obelisk, and here's the deer. See, she drew out the deer, and what could be a bear or an elephant, and a snake. And here's the pyramid, and there's the obelisk, which obviously must be. You can see the shadow of it. Of course, in the 3D here, it's kind of bent a little bit. I'm sure that's straight up and down, but it must be made out of metal or something, because it's the only thing shining. See it? It's the only thing shining. There's the pyramid. There's the geoglyphs on either side of it. Again, I didn't spot them until Mary did, but they clearly are there. It's remarkable. So I want to end that video. Let me end it with this. I mean, these two are amazing. It's amazing. You could see the pyramid. You could see the four corners. You could see the pinnacle. You can see this huge obelisk. It's crazy. And it's obviously made out of metal because it's the only thing shining there. And you can see the deer, or whatever it is. It's clearly a geoglyph, a big one and tall. You can see it's shadowing. And here's another. We believe this to be an elephant. At first, we thought it was a bear, or she thought it was a bear, which it looks like both, but it's more applicable if it's an elephant, because there were a lot of elephants in the temperate zone. Now, keep in mind, this is all, again, ancient to the ancients. This is when this civilization was here, is when Atlantis was here. I'm not saying this is Atlantis because Mary found Atlantis. I'm going to do a whole another video about that. Very important. She found Atlantis. And here she finds geoglyphs and a spire and a pyramid. Huge geoglyphs. And this is around the coast. Again, here's the coordinates. It's quite a ways from the 90 degrees north. But there's 90 degrees south. But it's around the outer edge along the coastline. Because again, we got to remember there wasn't ice, there wasn't water. A lot of things were, they say sunk, but it wasn't. Like Atlantis didn't sink, it just simply flooded. Here's the drawing of the geoglyphs. Even a snake. Again, we at first thought this was a bear, but we're starting to think it's an elephant. Again, it's more applicable. But, these are amazing enough. The geoglyphs are amazing enough. My God, Mary found geoglyphs in Antarctica. And it's not unusual because there are geoglyphs all over the world, and they're finding them, many of them, recently because of the technology we have. And thanks to the technology, Mary found 2, maybe 3 geoglyphs around a large pyramid and a large obelisk. Unbelievable. Obviously a metal one. It's the only thing shining around there. Remarkable. So, again, hats off to Mary. Here's a different angle. There's the pyramid. Clearly the pyramid. You can see it's elevated. Again, sometimes on 3D, a tall structure will be bent over, like a road sign and things like that, or bridges or things. You see them all kind of weird on 3D. But clearly that obelisk goes straight up and down, and you can see the shadow. And that's clearly a pyramid, my friend, that Mary found. Here it is again. Look, you can see the shadow of this obelisk, made out of metal, no doubt. Would that be something if it's, who knows what kind of metal? Again, this civilization had extremely high technology. You can clearly see the deer geoglyph here, or whatever it is. It could be, you could see a muzzle here, and the forehead, and the eyes. Again, it's important to zoom around and go around it. And here you can see the elephant, the trunk, the head, the eyes, the ears, and there's the straight back, the tail, the legs. It could even be a woolly mammoth, because obviously woolly mammoths were on this continent as well back in again, could be million years. Now, keep in mind that elephants were very predominant, or mammoths. So that's probably what this is, because they're representing the animals they had at that time. So again, thanks for listening, and please subscribe to Mary's channel. She's the best, and I appreciate doing the videos, and I appreciate you listening as well. So with that, I thank you for watching, and we'll talk at you later.